The Vajont Dam Disaster occurred within the alpine valleys of the northern part of Venice in 1963. The dam was completed 4 years prior to this disaster. The Italian government assigned an electricity company to build a dam that is known as SADE. The dam's main purpose was to store water for hydroelectricity purposes. It rained for 7 days straight, increasing the water level in the dam reservoir to 3/4. During continued downpour, a large rock broke from the Monte Tox peak and fell into Vajont Dam's reservoir, which created an estimated wave of about 50 million cube. This caused severe flooding, which resulted in about 2,000 deaths, also wiping out a third of downstream village of Langarone. The Vajont Dam disaster can be analyzed using the EGAD method. First, the engineers of SADE, which was the electricity company building the dam, were aware of creeping and landslides happening on the south side of the dam. Since they did not act correctly to the situation and showed negligence, this led to failure for the safeguarding of life to the nearby villages. SADE should have proceeded by making changes, and these are some of their options. First, the dam was built without due consideration of geological reports, possible tectonic problems, and local knowledge of territory. Builders and managers had also failed to observe soil conditions. This is why they should have gathered all knowledge of area before construction. Second, knowing the extreme conditions of the area, the dam should have not been built. Lastly, the dam should have been built higher to avoid or to account for unexpected conditions. All the villages within the local area knew that the dam was built at the highest point, and if anything were to go wrong, it would affect everyone. This is why the dam should have been relocated to a less direct location to ensure safety. The engineers knew that the mountains were creeping by 2 centimeters yearly and landslides were occurring, yet they failed to notify and warn the public of the conditions and the possible disasters that these conditions could cause. Yet they proceeded with the construction of the dam. In doing so, this disaster caused the death of approximately 2,000 people. At the end of this disaster, no one was ready to take responsibility for their actions. It rained for 7 days straight, landslides were occurring, and water rushed over the dam. One can argue that this was an act of God, which was natural and unavoidable, while others can argue this happened because of human error, which could have been avoided. At the end of the day, the engineers associated with SADE should face a lenient sentence, as it is their duty and responsibility to ensure that their work fulfills direct and non-direct needs of the project at hand. Our disaster can be related to Kanama Contracting vs. Huffman case. The similarity between the two is that there was an error associated within the project which was ignored, yet they relied on the project engineer's special skills. The defendant in our case are the Italian government and the SADE company, and the plaintiff in our case includes the residents of Langarone. Within the completion of the dam, duty of care was owed by ensuring nothing will happen to them as a byproduct of the occurring landslides. The duty of care was breached by this disaster that led to the death of approximately 2,000 Langarone residents. The defendant breached the plaintiff's duty of care for the negligence and dismissal of evidence of concealed reports describing the geological instability of Monte Toc, which was on the southern side of the dam. It also includes early warning signs of reports prior to this disaster. This case deals with many legal issues regarding the injury in the Vajont Dam disaster. It caused death among the near villages, wiping out 2,000 villagers in Langarone. Yet not only death impacted the people, but the injury and destruction of property played a big role. People lost their land, communities, and most importantly their families. It is also important to note that at that time, hydroelectricity was their main source of renewable energy. Creating this hydroelectric dam was to power not only the nearby villages, but many other close cities in Italy. The disaster caused a large shortage of electricity throughout the country.